Or we got some teens who thought it'd be funny to torture their quote unquote friend to death. The teens who tortured their friend to death. This will be another story. I'm saying this ahead of time. This will be another story where these dudes watch a certain type of video and they've got inspired to do these things to other people. And it just so happened that the weak link was one of their friends. So watch who you call your friends. Let's go.
For many teenagers, much of their lives are lived.
I like this dude.
online.
I like how he
Most talk
sounds.
to
No
their
weird
friends
shit
almost
whenever he
entirely
makes these
through
videos.
text, Snapchat, and online messaging.
Snapchaps.
To them, the online world is just as real as anything else.
Yep.
But it also appears to be safer.
To them.
Online, teens can share their real thoughts without the
I'm
same
heading to
fear
bed.
of
See you later. All right,
repercussion,
Hawk. Love you,
and
bro.
they can even voice their darkest secrets.
Love you, man. I'll talk to you
However,
later, dog.
Sometimes those secrets are so dark that they can't stay online forever.
I heard that.
What's up, Iwu crew?
What up?
Today we're going to discuss the case of a young Canadian woman
Oh,
who
no.
tragically met her end in the most brutal way possible.
Canadian?
Police
Oh.
were baffled
you
when a
fraud.
charred body was discovered hidden inside of a hockey bag.
Whoa,
But with
what?
further investigation and over 1.4 billion pages of data transcripts, it was a clue in the popular game World of Warcraft
What the
that
hell?
eventually led to her killers.
I told you, something.
Let's get into it.
They love to consume
Brad
something.
and Lucy Proctor started their new year off with the best gift possible in 1992. On January 1st, they welcomed a daughter into the world. They named her Kimberly.
Congrats.
The family lived in Langford, a town on Vancouver Island, just
Ew.
a short ferry ride from Seattle.
Vancouver? Ew.
Kimberly grew up loving animals. She raised several pets, and it seemed that she was more comfortable around her animals than with the kids her own age. Prone to being the victim of bullying in school, Kimberly wasn't equipped to handle the anxiety she felt in the classroom. Crammed hallways and the constant pressure from her peers led Kimberly to transition out of her school. She ended up at Pacific Christian Secondary School, an alternative high school in Victoria where they described that their students are learning and grappling with life and learning from a Christian perspective.
Trash.
Unfortunately for Kimberly, all alternative students were lumped together in the classrooms, regardless of the reasons they were sent there. She was enrolled partly because of her anxiety, and she ended up sitting alongside students with a history of violent outbursts. Cruz Wellwood, a fellow student, was at the school because of his own history of violence. He had reportedly broken another student's nose, and on a different occasion, had hit another classmate over the head with a chain. Cruz's tendencies were a chip off the old block. His father, who had abandoned the family when he was still a baby, is serving a life sentence for assaulting and strangling to death a 16-year-old girl when Cruz was only 7 years old.
Wow.
Cruz would later write, "I hated my father for what he did." He stopped replying to his father's letters at the age of 12 while living with his grandparents. A few years later, Cruz, whose teachers described him as, quote, anti-female, moved in with his mother, whom he constantly belittled and had reportedly hit on 2 occasions.
Oh my goodness.
Another student at the school, Cameron Moffat, had been friends with Cruz since the 5th grade.
We back?
The
Yes,
two
sir,
would
man.
skip school to smoke
This is the last
pot
video of the night,
and
though.
began consuming alcohol at
What's
the age
this?
of only 10.
The
Later,
teens
their
who
drug
tortured their
use
friend
would
to death.
allegedly transitioned to harder drugs, such as LSD.
We watched
and
the
ecstasy.
JCS already.
Cameron was a much worse student than Cruz, passing only 5 of his classes during his 4 years in high school.
Damn.
But his larger stature allowed him to display dominance over Cruz by
That's
pushing
it.
him.
That's it. That's all you like to
Cameron's
do.
aggression in school started in kindergarten. He would hit and push kids, and in middle school, he was suspended twice. In his home life, he was said to physically hurt his sister and even kick the family dog, breaking its paw on one occasion.
No.
He was eventually expelled.
Listen, I know hurting any kid, any person, murdering them even is, come on. It's just, what? Come on. But when it comes to dogs, oh, in the arms of the... When we all hear that song, heard that song, most of us who have hearts and an actual spirit or a soul would feel some type of way. We would look away, we would put our head down, change the channel, put it on, something. Bro, I'm just saying, man. What is dog spelled backwards? Let that sink in.
Held permanently for bringing a box cutter to school and threatening his sister. 16-year-old Cameron, 17-year-old Cruz, and 18-year-old Kimberly all hung out in the same group at their alternative high school and would get together regularly to smoke pot.
Why are you covering the thing?
Kimberly began dating another boy in the group, but was heartbroken when he suddenly broke off their relationship. She confided in Cruz and Cameron by messaging them both online. Both boys began to flirt with her.
Duh.
Cameron wrote to her, "There aren't many beautiful things I've seen, but I must say you are one of them."
Here they go.
Although Kimberly played along with the flirtations, she ultimately declined their advances. Cruz sent messages to Kimberly saying that she made him feel honest, telling her, "You're beautiful the way you are, and I can't lie to you." Kimberly ended up going on 1 or 2 dates with Cruz, but ended things through a text message.
Good.
Following this, Cruz was said to torment her online for the next month. The longtime childhood friendship between Cruz and Cameron had gradually developed into something much darker and more violent. The two would get together to watch aggressive adult videos
would
carry on conversations online, fantasizing about
assault. I told you.
They were high the majority of the time and even began experimenting with drinking blood and other bodily fluids.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
The next known contact between Cruz and Kimberly happened the same night she was messaging online with Cameron. She switched between the two conversations, telling Cruz that she was surprised to hear from him. Cruz wrote that he wanted to apologize and asked Kimberly if she had plans the next day because he wanted to hang out with her. He told her that he had to tell her something in person. Kimberly replied, saying that it was all so sudden and she was shocked when she got his message. She asked him to call her. The two talked on the phone for about an hour, but unknown to Kimberly, during the call, Cruz merged it so that Cameron could also listen in. Kimberly agreed to meet Cruz the following morning at the Langford bus exchange.
I don't know.
During the conversation, the two
that's
boys
still a thing,
messaged
like,
back and forth.
If we merge calls right now, hold on, look. If we merge calls right now in 2023, if I call Smurf and then Smurf mute and then I call Allie, is it gonna pop? No, it is, right? It is, isn't it? Like on a regular call. Or is it gonna pop up that I'm calling her? Y'all get what I'm saying? Because I know on FaceTime, if Condemn calls me and then Daniel called me, like, they're both of their names will pop up. It'll pop up that I'm calling her. So it's still that thing. It'll show at the top Smurf and Condemn. No, but that's like a FaceTime, right? Like a FaceTime audio or something. I don't know about like a phone call. But this was in 19, this was years
Cruz
ago.
wrote to Cameron, "I'm going to rip her nose ring out and burn it.
It'll only show for FaceTime." Right. Okay.
Cameron recommended, "Why not keep her bound and alive?"
Oh my
To which Cruz responded, "That's what I'm going to do, but I need to get her stoned first and possibly seduce her."
This is insane.
All the while, Cruz continued to talk to Kimberly on the phone, as though nothing was wrong.
You just never know, bro.
On the morning of March 18th, 2010, Kimberly and her parents had a lot to celebrate.
Never mind, it's 2010.
The previous day,
they
found out that
something.
she had earned enough credits to graduate from high school, and Kimberly was very excited about potentially beginning to volunteer at an animal sanctuary. When her mother kissed her goodbye and told her she loved her before leaving for work, she expected that Kimberly would babysit later that afternoon,
of course,
and then return home to sew her graduation dress. Kimberly slipped on her black hoodie adorning the number 13 before leaving the house. Around 10:30 a.m. that morning, Kimberly met up with Cruz and Cameron at the Langford bus exchange as she'd planned. Cameron had entered the Canadian Tire home improvement store earlier that morning to purchase about $17 worth of camping fuel. The three of them talked for a bit before heading to Cruz's house on Happy Valley Road. The two boys had planned an attack on Kimberly the night before. Cruz told Cameron the code phrase for when he was ready to initiate the attack.
Oh my God.
He told Cameron that when he said, "I think I'm going to make some KD," that would be the signal. KD is a Canadian abbreviation for Kraft Macaroni and Cheese Dinner.
Is this facts, Allie? Still to this day? Is that facts? I need to know right now. Is this facts? KD. Give me some KD, yeah? It's on the box. Are you shitting me?
It wasn't long after the three teenagers entered the house that the two boys pounced on Kimberly. They bound and gagged her, tying her up from the wrists and ankles, shoving a sock into her mouth, then sealing it with duct tape.
Wow.
For hours, they took turns assaulting and beating the helpless girl, living out the twisted fantasies they had discussed with each other before stuffing her into a freezer. Her official cause of death was asphyxiation as she slowly and painfully ran out of oxygen inside the freezer. At one point during the torture, possibly while Kimberly was still alive, Cruz logged into his computer and sent her one last message, presumably trying to give himself an alibi. In the message, he asked her if she was done babysitting. While on the computer, other friends messaged Cruz after noticing that he was online. After one of these friends complained that Cruz wasn't responding as he had continued his sinister activities, he eventually wrote back, "Sorry, the freezer was jumping around."
This dude,
the following day, Cameron and Cruz stuffed Kimberly's lifeless body into a hockey bag.
Wow.
Cameron, the stronger of the two, was able to carry the bag to the public bus stop.
Wow.
Where they, along with Kimberly's corpse, boarded the bus heading for a popular hiking trail. Getting off the bus near the Galloping Goose Trail, they carried the body into the woods and under a bridge. They covered the bag in the camping fuel that Cameron had purchased the previous day before setting it on fire.
Oh my goodness.
During their time under the bridge, Cruz sent a message from his phone, one that he would come to regret. The boys then continued on as if nothing had happened. Later that day, Cameron had brunch with his mother and grandmother, who ended up buying him a video game afterward. Cruz then spent the day at his house with a girl he was dating. All the while, Kimberly's family was worried sick and desperately searching for her. At around 7 p.m. that evening, a few hikers went under the bridge of the Galloping Goose Trail, where they discovered Kimberly's charred remains. They notified authorities, who immediately began an investigation. It only took 3 days for police to use dental records to confirm the identity of the body as Kimberly Proctor. Her family was utterly devastated. At first, investigators were bewildered.
The stream been great, bro. Great.
For doing such a horrific thing to
our last video of the night.
Girl. His friends and family set up a public memorial page in Kimberly's honor on Facebook. They kept close watch, scouring each post and comments for clues. You'd be amazed at how many people don't have a single privacy setting on there, said one of the authorities on the case. Cruz, already worried that his text message sent from the Galloping Goose Trail could be incriminating, grew more cautious about leaving any online traces that could lead the police to him.
You're stupid.
Nonetheless, he couldn't fight.
I hope you weren't thinking about that.
Share the gruesome acts that he had committed with his online gamer girlfriend, who lived in Halifax, Nova Scotia. He messaged her 5 days after murdering Kimberly, sharing with her that he wanted to tell her something important, and that he wanted the two to talk in a chat room in World of Warcraft.
You're so dumb.
He chose
want to beat your chest about this
online role-playing game as his medium because he thought the conversations were less likely to be saved than a traditional messenger. He confessed the crime to his online girlfriend, and even sent her links to news articles to back up his story.
Still want to brag.
Unsurprisingly to him, she responded, "I'll always be here no matter what you do."
Yeah.
Cameron also confirmed Cruz's story to his gamer girlfriend through World of Warcraft.
Both friends, Dumb
When
and
the
Dumber.
girl asked Cruz if he felt sorry for Kimberly's friends and family, and, quote, "all whose lives you have ruined," Cruz replied, "No, I don't feel bad for them."
Told you, this
For the next
this
few
type of
weeks,
story.
Cruz attended
Yep.
school intermittently,
Chilling.
while fellow students mourned the loss of Kimberly. He had outbursts in class when the subject of Kimberly came up, telling one student, "I'm glad she's dead. I hated her."
Wow.
Cruz and Cameron bragged to themselves over online chat rooms that they were getting away with the murder.
Wow.
Feeling confident, Cameron wrote to Cruz, "Since we killed that and it wasn't too hard, we should do it again." Eventually, the two boys were brought in and questioned by police. Although they admitted to seeing Kimberly the morning of her murder, they said she left early to go to school. Investigators weren't convinced, and it wasn't too long before they had enough evidence to monitor both of them officially.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something else too. That I'm listening to this and I'm understanding is that some people like the thrill. They know they're lying. They want to keep lying just for people to realize and be more attentive to them because they never had attention like that ever from girls in school, from anything, right? So they get a draw. They get like that blood rushing feeling from lying and then people diving in more and figuring out where they're lying at. You see what I'm saying? That's with relationships. That's with investigations. Anything, you know? And that's disgusting. That's a disgusting drug to chase, you know?
Cruz and Cameron had their homes bugged by investigators,
Crazy.
along with their cell
I remember
phones
watching
and
something
even the
like this where the
gazebo
guy
at a
put the
park
whole
where they
thing
hung
on,
out.
It was mad weird.
They also traced their online searches and retrieved
I
old
mean,
texts.
this is
and
for
messages.
awareness. This is not like to
In
make
the
us
end,
scared
the
or
evidence
afraid or
collected
nothing like that. But
accumulated to the equivalent
it
of a
is a
staggering
lot.
1.4 billion pages of data and transcripts between the two of them.
it is a lot.
Cruz and Cameron were both arrested on June 18th, 2010.
Damn.
Both boys were said to be extremely calm when taken into custody.
Yeah, they wanted this.
2 days later, police began to interrogate Cameron, but when they asked for specific details, Cameron toyed with police, saying,
"I'm telling you the truth. I'm just not telling you every single little thing that happened down to the tiniest grain of detail that I can come up with in my mind."
Look at this dude. Man.
And trust me, there's a lot of really disgusting.
he told them that they burned the body, knowing that the bones would be left behind. But at least the evidence of the bruises and horrors acted out upon Kimberly's
Yep, that's what they
flesh
got.
would be gone.
In
He
2010,
also said,
2011,
"There's
whatever.
going to be a time and place one day when this is going
They
to
had no
be
remorse
so
either.
easy to tell."
Look, it's weirdo.
In a
watching
conversation
too much
recorded
internet
between
shit.
the two teens
Internet
that took
fake
place
shit.
in a sheriff's van on the way to their first court appearance, Cruz could be heard telling Cameron about his interrogation. He said, "They were really trying to stroke my ego, telling me
Look.
how smart they think I am."
Look, see?
Cameron,
And this is why parents are so adamant about what, well, it's not no more because the internet literally raises us, but that's besides the point. Parents used to be so adamant about these video games and these movies that, you know, their kids are watching and stuff like that. Like, I low-key miss that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I low-key miss those times. We had a sleepover. Oh, y'all can't watch that. Y'all can't do it. Y'all can't. Like, that's good. Yes, because we don't want to have to, like, relate and get a entertainment or fulfillment from watching these horror films or watching GTA, everybody getting killed and this and that. Like, you know, it does a lot to the young psyche,
replied,
you know?
"I just laughed at half the things they said and just
Look.
like sat there with a big ass grin on my
Look,
face."
it's like a move. Like, look, bro.
Both Cruz and Cameron pleaded guilty to first-degree
Oh,
murder
okay.
and indignity to human remains.
They still got
Even
life.
though both teens were minors at the time of the crime,
Still got life.
the prosecution sought adult sentences.
That's right. That's goddamn right.
Almost a year after the murder, a Canadian court sentenced Cruz and Cameron to life in prison with no chance of parole for 10
All right,
years.
Canadians. Good
They were
job.
transferred to
Wait,
adult
let's go back one more
facilities,
time.
not the murder.
One more
a
time.
Canadian court sentenced Cruz and Cameron to life in prison with no chance
10
of parole
years.
for 10 years.
Other homie got
They were
3. He
transferred
got
to adult facilities.
He got parole or no chance for parole, and then on top of it, he got 3 extra years. Yep.
Where a
Yep.
more comprehensive offender treatment program is offered.
Yep.
One
Beautiful.
of these treatments includes chemical castration,
That's what
which
they
is
wanted.
a drug treatment used in Canada
Yeah,
to
y'all ain't
reduce
right
the
neither.
likelihood of recidivism in assault crimes.
Yeah, sure. Keep drugging them. That's what they
Even
wanted
though the
anyway.
sentence imposed was the maximum penalty for a juvenile under Canadian law, Kimberly's parents were not satisfied with the justice served. They wanted to see the boys pay for their crime with their
Oh,
lives.
so they different. Oh,
However,
okay.
The death penalty is not an option in Canada. Kimberly's
Heard
mother,
that.
Lucy, told reporters, quote,
Heard that.
"When an animal is sick, you put them down. They're not even animals. I don't like to use that word because Kim was a huge animal person. Those two are monsters."
Hold on, let me see. Real quick. Little detour. Hold on, wait a second. Canada's government in 2022, it counts as monarchy. They're gonna some of the distant roads. The party sits at the center left to the right of the Canadian political spectrum, with their federal rival, the Liberal Party of Canada, positioned to their left. Okay. I just wanted to see something. I just wanted to see. Okay. Yep. I just wanted to see. Yep. I just wanted to see. Yep. I just wanted to see.
Kimberly's father, Fred, would tell
I just wanted to
reporters
see.
outside the courtroom,
Idiots.
"These animals aren't rehabilitatable. They deserve to die a long, slow, horrific, painful death."
Wow.
10 years
Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, right? If he's a pig, show him why he's a pig. Ah.
later, on May 15th, 2020, Cruz faced a hearing to determine whether he was eligible for full parole.
Ain't no goddamn
and escorted
parole.
temporary absences.
Ain't no goddamn parole. Come on, do it to him.
Landolt, Kimberly's aunt,
Do
said
it to him.
he told the parole board he wanted the escorted day passes because he wanted to go to church on Sundays, which is ridiculous because they
Sure.
have chaplains in prison.
Sure.
She was listening in to the hearing virtually due to COVID constraints. She added, "It's ridiculous. We could be going through this again and again and again. And who knows when Cameron's going to start trying? We're not going to see the end of this until they are dead or they are released." Cruz's parole was denied in
That's
the first
right.
10 minutes.
Thank you very
But he
much.
will automatically be eligible for parole again in 5 years.
Eligible.
He can apply for escorted day passes anytime. Reports about
He
the
ain't getting
crime
those.
were
He ain't getting
careful
those.
not to blame video games,
He ain't getting
specifically
those.
World of Warcraft. However, the online chat room played a key
He
role
said there was a
in
guy from
gathering the
Ontario
evidence
and he
needed
was
to
on camera,
convict
so people
Cruz
in
and
Discord
Cameron.
showed him pics.
Recalling
Wow.
the tragedy, Kimberly's mother
These
said,
are so
"It doesn't
crazy.
go away, and thinking about what she went through is beyond horrific." Kimberly is gone forever, but Cruz and Cameron may one day be released and integrated back into society.
I mean, yeah.
What
I
are
mean,
your
technically,
thoughts
yeah.
about the chance that these killer boys could eventually be let out of prison? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video interesting, more stories for you to explore will pop up next.
Right. I like this channel a lot. Shout out to them, man. Never allow them out of prison. They truly cross the line of inhumanity. Right, you should let us know if they're not going to get released. They're not going to get released. They're not getting released. What a horrible way to die. At the same time, trying to do more to get around. They gotta. Oh, wait. Canadian justice is a joke. Yet, all these scum judges and DAs still cash their paychecks. They make me sick. Yo, Lenny, uh, Lenny got some words for y'all Canadians. What truly chokes me is adults, kids having the urge to do those things. I will never understand human behavior because you don't study. The law is literally criminal. They seriously took her corpse on the bus with them in a hockey bag. That's so disturbing. Can you begin to describe? Yeah, man. Oof.